Weekdays, not too unsettle you. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the move. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis. First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. The show is called First Things First, and my first thing today and every day, you know what it is: giving thanks, giving praises, asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and launching the rocket ship. And I don't mean SpaceX. So the way we do the show on a beautiful, beautiful Talking Point Tuesday, which is what we call every Tuesday. Hour one, we look local, what's happening on the left coast. Hour two, we'll go national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we'll do a deep dive on a hot topic or a person of interest, or usually kind of a combination of both of those. And so today it's hour one, me, you, and the microphone, and Miles. Miles always, coming through in the clutch, which is much appreciated, by the way, Mr. Low. Hour two, we're going to talk with comedian Louis Dix, but also you, because Louis is one of those people. He's funny for a living, but he's one of those people that reads the papers and reads the books and has a lot of knowledge about the world. So we'll have a robust conversation about what's going on in this country and this planet. And then the third hour, we'll be speaking with Sharon Jenkins, who is the mama of Erskine Jenkins. Erskine Jenkins is a young man in his early 20s, who was attending Texas Tech and was killed by police there. Miss Jenkins needs our help, and it's really a story that actually reminds me of a story of a young man here and some others that I've heard across the country where kids, young people, teenagers, young adults go off to college in a place that has a history of racism, white supremacy, and they're not they're not acclimated to that. And sometimes not good things happen. We'll hear her story and find out how we can help. And of course, we are always welcoming you in 800-920-1580. That's the number. If you've got something to say about whatever, that's the number to call. And if you want to tap in via socials, we're everywhere at KBLA 1580. We are everywhere, and I am everywhere. DiPrima Radio, DIPRIMA, and then radio. And I will check, like if you're going to DM me or make a comment during the show, I'll look at it. So if you're too shy to get on this telephone. Also, there's the YouTube conversation that happens every day. It is a stream of this show, and folks are chatting it up in there. It's 800-920-1580 for telephone, but for YouTube, you go to youtube.com and then type in KBLA 1580. Miles, I notice you're eagled down from head to toe. Well, the hat is off now, but I was actually ready to put on some Eagles gear myself yesterday when I heard that the team had voted not to visit the White House.
Come on now.
So 2 for 2. I mean, you say it like, of course, but Miles, so many people that were resisting and, we're the resistance, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, are completely backing down the second Trump term, preemptively surrendering, deciding to give up, coming out with their hands up when no one's even at the door with a gun. Right. And so I was bracing myself for disappointment.
I mean, I personally, I kind of was expecting them to go, but I'm proud that I salute them for not going, for saying we're not doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I salute them also, especially right now when everybody
everybody's kissing the ring.
Yeah, people are kissing the ring and doing too much, and preemptive surrender. That's what I call it. No one even threatened you. What are you doing? Remember who you are. So it's just a nice throwback to also the protest era of football in a way.
Yep. Yeah, and I think this times like these is where you really see who people really are. Like you can't expect people who have been tiptoeing the line to just start, stand up for themselves now. People are compromised in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you really get to see who's who and who's real at these times like this. And I'm just glad that my team got to stand up and be like, nah, we real ones.
Yeah, exactly. And it tracks with them being your team, to be honest.
Come on now. So yes, I'm banging in these streets today. Big Eagles, big Philly gang. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I mean, if you are not familiar, Miles is an artist, a rap artist who has a new EP out right now. Is it an EP?
It's EP, yes it is. 7 tracks called Imagine That, available everywhere you stream music. But I think in times like this too, it's important that you start getting the art from the artist. The streaming sites are okay, the YouTubes are okay, but start supporting the artists as well. Start giving them your direct business, your direct contact info so they can stay in touch with you. So platforms like even.biz, it's a place you can buy the music directly from the artist. Places like Bandcamp, you can buy the music straight from the artist. Both of my EPs, Imagine That, are available up there. But yeah, we're in this boycott era. Let's start supporting what we as the community produce.
Yeah, a couple things about that. So for the average consumer, I don't know that we differentiate. If I want to listen to Imagine That by Miles Low, I normally would probably just go to Apple Music or Spotify and stream it. But what you're saying is go to the website and buy a copy?
Yeah, I'm saying, there's value in you supporting the artist directly.
Yeah.
The main support is, there's no middleman. We all know there's a big war going on with the streaming websites paying, pennies per stream with the people that they're bringing to these platforms. So yeah, you actually support the artist directly. And most importantly, you give them the data. You let them know who you are so they can pay it forward, give it back to you. Do I have a show coming up? Do I have a merch drop? Do I have, like whatever my move, do I have a podcast episode coming up? Am I going to be here doing, volunteer work? That's how you build the community up. And you actually find the people around you who are, on the cutting edge of this. So definitely support the artist if you can. Yeah. I'm
smiling because a friend of mine, you know who it is, who I've been a rap artist who I've been good friends with for many years, said that to me, maybe 15 years ago. Don't build your brand up on somebody else's platform. Don't do it on Facebook. Don't do it on Instagram. Don't do it. His point was they can shut you down at any moment. And it seems more relevant than ever right now with the kind of repression and misinformation is build your own website, or go somewhere where you can collect data directly. Because if you have this humongous following on Instagram and they decide to ban or shadow ban you, then you're just out of luck.
Right, exactly. That's actually a quick note. That's what happened with Kanye West. He was Adidas was directing all the traffic from his website, from the Yeezy line, to their website, not to Yeezy's collection. So when he needs his data to market to the people who are supporting him directly, he can't do that. So that led to the Super Bowl commercials, to him selling his own stuff on Spotify's, and ultimately getting that billionaire status back, because now, he has that data and that infrastructure that they were coming to research and pull from anyway that made him a billionaire.
Right.
So, yeah, there's a lot of power into it. There's a lot of, and that's where the future's going to be, I think. It's definitely where the future's going to be. We're not going to be relying on Spotify to give you music. You're going to have to get them directly from the artist. So, yeah, support, please.
I mean, I think that's one thing about the sort of predatory moment that we're in tech and in politics, is it is forcing folks to consider creating our own platforms, our own direct to consumer models, which, as you point out, I mean, Prince warned us, Nipsey kind of warned us about that. And I think it's being accelerated right now. So congratulations to you, Miles, on your team and on your music.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. And you have a lot of fans on KBLA because you board up for Tavis and me, but you're also like our production czar. I mean, because you've trained up all the people that do the weekends and you put everything together so that it can run smoothly as far as all of our commercials and spots and stuff like that. You do much more than people realize, and I think folks have gotten to know you and love you. So I'm challenging all the Miles Low stands out there to go get that Imagine That and support this man as an artist. And I just loved having a little spot of some resistance. Although there's more than a spot going on. It's just not in the spotlight. There continue to be protests at Tesla dealers and in front of state houses all across this country. There continue to be protests internationally, and folks are starting to push back. It's sad to see the diminishment of our, I guess, brand, if you want to call it that, the American brand. I mean, I know I'm a progressive. I'm aware of the problems with the American experiment, if you want to call it that. But I feel like this is probably the lowest we've ever been on the world stage, watching President Macron correct Trump in real time, and then Trump basically calling him a liar. That's like, wow, how did we get here? But we are here, and we can be like the Eagles. We don't have to buy into it. There's a lot going on here in the Southland. I guess from a Talking Point Tuesday perspective, though, the perspective is that folks are all acquiescing. Everyone's giving up. Everyone's playing ball with Elon and Donald, but everyone isn't, and we can be part of the everyone who isn't. 800-920-1580 if you want to bring something up or weigh in. I would love to hear from you as always. I'm Dominique DiPrima, and you're listening to KBLA, Black-owned and unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-550-9651.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-550-9651. That's 800-550-9651.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the voice of reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, as I sit in this studio wearing a cozy sweater, because it's always cold in here. I know it's good for the equipment, right, Miles? It's not so good for the talent, but it's good for the equipment. Apparently, we're getting a heat wave this week. Record-breaking temperatures are expected starting tomorrow. So welcome to the new climate order. Welcome to the climate emergency. And then at the weekend, maybe rain. Okay? Yes, they're saying it's going to be light. We're not going to have like what we had last time, but still the weather whiplash continues. And windy too this week. I imagine not nearly as dangerous because we had some good wet weather that took down that scary degree of danger. But, just be ready. I'll probably still be up here in a sweater tomorrow. I just have to change by the time I leave because we're talking 90s possibly. And that is meant to bear out for the rest of the week. And it's not just LA City. It's all over the region. Hot, hot, hot. Welcome to the climate emergency. And welcome to the egg emergency. Apparently, some restaurants are now adding an egg surcharge. They're trying to force you to become a vegan. It's a surcharge to any meal that includes eggs. Denny's is starting this, I think, this week because of the nationwide egg shortage. And eggs are expensive. I thought prices were coming down the minute the MAGA crew took the White House. Apparently not. So, look, you can be vegan and then you don't have to worry about how much eggs cost. But as of right now, they appear to be going up, up, up. We'll talk about this more next hour, but there's been a whole reaction. I was almost like a protest, a spontaneous online protest over the firing of Joy Reid from MSNBC. And, I have mixed feelings about it because I love Joy Reid. I think she's super talented. I was so sad to see Tariq Nasheed trashing her on his page because she wasn't born in this country or whatever. But it's part of our business. I myself have been laid off from a job before. The point people are making that I think is really, really super valid, aside from what we were talking about earlier, which is this preemptive surrender, is that the preemptive surrender, which media companies are doing, right, paying settlements, i.e. bribes, directly to the President of the United States, who is then threatening more folks. And then I feel like the firings are not based on ratings. I said yesterday there was a 77% increase in MSNBC's ratings overall since the first week after the election. So if it's not about ratings, then what is it? And it's interesting that the people that got fired, Joy Reid is one. Katie Feng is another. And she's an Asian woman who is a lawyer. She'll stay on, though, as a legal analyst, I guess, but she won't have her own show anymore. Jonathan Capehart, not clear whether he will be gone from MSNBC or whether he'll have his show moved to another time. Ayman Mohadeen, who has been very outspoken on Gaza, as has Joy Reid, by the way, also has had his show canceled, but they're saying maybe come back in another slot. You know who else is pretty outspoken? Rachel Maddow. And so far, I don't see her going anywhere. And Rachel Maddow made the statement yesterday, which was mocked by the New York Post, that the people being fired from MSNBC are the people who aren't white. The people losing their shows are the people who aren't white. So you have to wonder, is it the melanin? Is it the ethnicity plus the outspokenness? Or is it just the outspokenness on certain topics, i.e. Gaza? Or is it, if they would have done it right after the inauguration, they could have said ratings, because they MSNBC had hit a huge slump right after MAGA won the election. It's even hard for me to say, but yeah. After that happened, they saw a slump, but they bounced back within a week, and they've seen a jump. So you wonder what is. And the President of the United States was celebrating Joy Reid getting fired. Look, I don't know if Miss Reid is celebrating, but if I got fired and the President of the United States, this particular president, was truthing, air quotes, truthing, my demise, I would consider that a win. I got under his skin so much that the President of the United States has to get on social media and celebrate my demise. That's one for the history books, Joy. I wish her well. I can't ever remember a petition or protest campaign bringing back an air talent. I remember they did one after Tiffany Cross was fired. I remember a few of them in radio. And I don't remember them ever bringing someone back, although maybe what it does is it creates opportunity for them to do something independently or go to another outlet. Don't be surprised if Joy Reid pops up on KBLA. But I'm just saying, we're still free here. Black owned and unapologetically progressive. And it goes back to the conversation we've had many times about how important ownership is in media, especially in times like this. We don't have to be looking over our shoulders. We can actually still talk, and we don't have to preemptively surrender. James Farr and I were talking yesterday, and congratulations again to James. He's got his own show now on the weekends after the Black Lives Matter This Is Not a Drill program, which airs 8 to 10 on Saturdays. You will now have James Farr of The Conversation Live, Altadena Rising. So congrats going to him. Yesterday we were discussing how neighboring communities to Altadena and the Palisades are pushing back on the debris being moved, even though it's being moved into dumps. They don't want it there. And if they have their way, the Army Corps of Engineers will take that debris far away to sites that they feel are prepared to handle the toxic ash, the debris. And apparently there were protesters out in Palisades blocking the trucks from coming into the dump at this is at the Calabasas landfill. the feds are saying, look, we have special equipment. We have covered the land so that the toxins won't soak in. We can safely process this waste here at these dumps. The residents saying not so much. They don't agree. They feel like, and I can understand it in the sense that there's a thing called wind. And wind carries dust and debris, ash and debris is carried by wind. That's why the air quality is bad. At the same time, if the feds have to ship this waste far away, it's going to slow down the process even more of getting back to building homes and allowing people to do whatever they're going to do, build a home, set up a trailer, whatever they're going to do. Not to mention, all of it is loose now in the air because it's sitting on these properties, right? So it can come to you now, even if it's not removed. Have to get a toxic waste disposal expert in here, but there are people out at these sites yesterday stopping the trucks from going in, chanting, back it up, no toxic dumping. We've got news, traffic, and sports, then more on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. The Trump administration may eliminate U.S. Africa Command, moving it under European Command to reduce bureaucracy and withdraw troops from Africa. Some officials warn this could create a vacuum for Russia or China. Responses to the email asking federal workers to list their accomplishments will be analyzed by AI to determine job necessity. Elon Musk stated that failure to respond would be considered a resignation. Senator Ted Cruz is subpoenaing the Massachusetts Port Authority for documents on sheltering migrants at Boston Logan Airport, calling it reckless and offensive. Lawmakers say this violated FAA grant conditions, leading to a policy change in July 2024. And Lester Holt will leave NBC Nightly News this summer to return to a full-time role with Dateline. NBC has not announced his replacement. This follows news that MSNBC will end Joy Reid's weekday evening show. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
The CONCACAF Nations League finals arrive at SoFi Stadium March 20th to 23rd. USA versus Panama, followed by Canada versus Mexico. Get your tickets now on Ticketmaster. For more information, visit CONCACAFNationsLeague.com/tickets.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
It's going to be an emotional night tonight for Lakers star Luka Doncic. First game for Doncic against his former team, the Dallas Mavericks, tonight at Crypto.com. Doncic played his first 6 seasons in the NBA with the Mavericks before he was traded to the Lakers on February 8th for Anthony Davis. This will be AD's first game against the Lakers since the trade, although he won't be in a Mavericks uniform. AD will be on the bench in street clothes. He's recovering from a strained abductor muscle. AD has played only 3 quarters for the Mavericks. In 4 games with the Lakers, Doncic is averaging 19 points and 5.8 assists. 7 p.m. tip-off tonight. If you don't have a ticket, you can catch the game live on TNT. The UCLA women's basketball team moved up to number 2 in this week's Associated Press Top 25 poll. Texas is number 1. USC is 4th. UCLA and USC are a combined 51-3. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Looking for a purposeful and passionate way to make a difference in your community? Volunteer with our Senior Medicare Patrol and help prevent Medicare fraud. S&P volunteers work in their community educating peers about healthcare fraud and how to prevent and detect it. Free training starts soon. Check us out online or at an S&P open house near you. We're on a mission to stop fraud. Join our team. You make a difference. Visit caspvolunteer.org. Protect yourself from Medicare card scams. Scammers may call, email, or even knock on your door claiming they need your Medicare info, asking for money or threatening to cancel your benefits. Don't fall for it. It's a scam. Remember, Medicare doesn't need to verify your information. They already have it. Medicare won't charge you for a new card and will never threaten to cancel benefits. Check your Medicare statements for suspicious charges and report scams to the California Senior Medicare Patrol at 1-855-613-7080. We're here to help.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant at home office, 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580, man. Great ones leaving the building, family. Great ones leaving the building. And, of course, Chris Jasper of the Isley Brothers made his transition on yesterday. Apparently, he found out he had cancer in December, which is, very... not long ago at all. He obviously not just a member of the Isley Brothers, but a Songwriters Hall of Fame member. He's credited with having a big influence on the classic songs Between the Sheets, Fight the Power, For the Love of You. And he's also a National R&B Society Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Soul Tracks Lifetime Achievement Award winner, and obviously part of one of the greatest groups, ever, in the history of ever. Miles, the Isleys are so sampled too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, is it one of the more sampled groups in hip-hop, do you think? I know James Brown and know George Clinton.
I'll say George. I was thinking probably George Clinton. James Brown. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean the Isleys too, though. I mean they've been around so long. They're still recording music with 2 Chainz and stuff like that. So they've got hits of their own with these artists.
Right, staying relevant and staying not just sampled, but that's a good,
staying paid,
really good point. Really good point. And here's another fun fact. He was married to his wife, Margie Jasper, for 42 years, which in this business is very rare to be able to stay married like that. She's an attorney and an author, and they have 3 children together that are obviously still here, Michael, Nicholas, and Christopher. So rest in peace, Mr. Jasper, and thank you for all the joy and music and the soundtrack to our lives that you helped to bring into the world. I know it always seems like we're losing a lot of people, every season, especially when we come from the holiday season into the beginning of the year. But these folks that are exiting right now are really legendary. So I think we owe them our tribute. And I feel so blessed and so privileged that one of the things we can do here on KBLA is give people their flowers while they're here and make sure that they're shown love when they exit the building, when they go, you make their heavenly ascent. We hope. I mean, because of course the mainstream media is going to do it, but they're not going to do it. They'll miss a lot of it, and they're not going to do it the way we can do it. I know Tavis will have a lot to say. He hangs out with these folks, I'm more of a fan. He's more of a homie. So always lots of good insights there. Kwamel says Caravan of Love is a monster. June. And he's also pointing out Roberta Flack, who passed this week, and Gwen McCrae. So it feels like, I don't know, it does feel like a season of loss. Maybe it's just because we are in such dire straits nationally. Gwen McCrae, a singer in the gospel, soul, disco, funk kind of vibe. So rest in power to her as well. Look, it's a great time to call me if you got something to say, 800-920-1580. This right here is a dialogue, not a monologue. But if y'all don't call, then it's a monologue. And I'm good with that, too. Gemini here. Always got stuff to say. So we keep hearing about these big, ICE raids that are coming to L.A. and they're going to arrest everyone. And CNN's reported it. It's been reported repeatedly by other outlets. But so far, that hasn't happened. Now, that doesn't mean it won't happen. But it's interesting because apparently ICE contacted some law enforcement and said we may need help. I don't remember the name of the agency right now. I think they're jail, so it would be under the sheriffs, saying we may need help holding all these folks. And then, so those jails were on alert, and then the arrests did not add up to the hype. It may be that ICE isn't going hard. We don't know because they're not communicating their plans with the leadership of these cities. They want to surprise, but our city council and our mayor have been clear that they will protect the residents of the city, whether they have papers or not. The thing is, I believe it's possible that because we have such strong community organizing in Los Angeles among groups like Chirla, which is a immigrant rights group, and Baji, the Black Alliance for Just Immigration, and Haitian Bridge and such, that it may be that they're having a more difficult time just sweeping people up. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of Know Your Rights campaigns going on saying you don't have to open your door for ICE just because they knock. So I'm not sure if it's that or if it's just that the raids haven't happened to full steam yet or what is happening. But what I am reading, and this is not just LA, this is across the country, is that the new Confederate Republican administration is having trouble arresting as many people as they wanted to arrest, because they said they were going to go after undocumented people with criminal records. However, most of those people that were easy to find are already in jail or deported. I mean, this is where the MAGA myth meets the hard reality of actual facts, which is that they made it seem like there's criminals, undocumented criminals running everywhere in our country. And in fact, that's just not the case. There may be some, but the majority of the people with serious criminal records have already been arrested and or deported. And so then the spokesperson for the president said, well, if they've come into the country illegally, that means they're a criminal. So that gave them more people they could arrest and claim victory in this space. However, that's actually not true, because if you come in as an asylum seeker and you follow the rules of turning yourself in at the border, and then you have to wait until you get a chance to go through immigration court to see whether you get to stay or whether you're going to be forced to go, that's actually not illegal. It's part of our chaotic immigration rules. So I'm not sure if they're really the Republican Trump administration is really pushing the pressure onto local regions and districts, onto states to cooperate, because they're not meeting the numbers of arrests that they wanted to meet, because their dystopian vision of criminals running everywhere that don't have papers is actually not true. So then who do you arrest? They're going to have to arrest regular undocumented workers. They're already doing it. We'll see. We'll be keeping an eye on it. But so far, after repeated warnings published in reputable national and local publications, we haven't seen the massive deportation here in Los Angeles. Let's go to Sam calling us from L.A. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Dominique. How are you?
I'm blessed. What's on your mind this fine day?
Oh, okay, yes. I called you last Thursday, and you told me to get back with you. I was telling you about the guy. His name was Jared Joseph Powell. He the one that killed the people down on Skid Row, November of 2023. And remember I told you, you said when they called him, you said that another black man with mental illness. And I told you that you didn't give any condolences to the family, or you didn't say anything about, well, I'm glad he's off the street. Now, on Skid Row, he killed a black man, 62 years old, two Latino men, 37 years old, and another one was 50.
Okay, I do remember this now. You said serial killer, so I was thinking, over years and many people. He did kill 3 people, right?
Right.
Yeah,
well,
but it wasn't.
Dominique.
Was it 4? Okay, I see 3
he followed
here.
one guy home.
Okay, yeah, 4 counts of murder.
In front of his son.
Right, and also robbery, right? So I guess I wasn't thinking of him as a serial killer. I was thinking of him as a mass shooter, a person who snapped. Of course, if I didn't say condolences, I don't remember. I was probably going through the story quickly. I'm always sad and dismayed by a loss of life, especially when people are murdered. I always say you don't get to walk up and kill people, whether it's because you're suffering from mental illness or whether it's because you think you're putting forth a cause. I never am a person that condones this. This is Jared Joseph Powell. This is a young man. He was just 33. And it was a terrible case because, like you said, it was on Skid Row, and vulnerable people who were actually, a couple of them were sleeping when he killed them.
Okay, yeah, well, we're on the same page now. Okay, and another one, last year you said when you was out at the beach, you were jogging or working out, and you said that it was a black man. He had assaulted I don't know if she was an Asian woman or
Yeah,
something.
I was about to go running. I was in my car getting ready to get out of my car, and I witnessed a crime, yes.
Oh, okay, and you said you wouldn't call the police on a black man. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This may sound crazy, but correct me if I'm wrong. Did you say you would not call the police unless they told you they would send out a black officer as opposed to a white officer?
No, you made that part up. I would never say that.
Okay, I made a mistake.
You made that.
Sorry, yeah.
The reason I say that, the reason I know I would never say that, is because the data show that black cops actually kill black people at higher rates.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay.
Which is why when folks say the answer is get more black police, I don't think it is. I think the answer is change our approach to law enforcement entirely.
Right. They become a what's the old term, Dominique? You become a product of your environment, when
Right.
Like that.
Well,
Now,
and here's the thing,
black?
Sam. The lady was not black. Here's the thing, Sam. I was very tormented about that. That's why I was talking about it on the radio. I felt terrible for that woman. I saw her humanity. I went and talked to her and tried to comfort her. But I didn't want to call the police because I was not going to be responsible if they murdered that man.
It was a black man. Now,
It was a tall black man, yes.
Okay. Now, if she was a black woman getting assaulted, would you have called the police?
To be honest with you, I don't think so.
Still, either way, okay, yeah. But just
because I don't want to be. See, if I can call the police and they can come and help that person, right? Now, if it was now, I probably could have called 988 and they would have sent out a mental health team, right? And so that's part of the reason why we need the 988 number. But I still would have gone and comforted that person and offered her help, which is what I did. But I didn't want to call the police because if they would have come and killed him, I would have felt like it was my fault. And that's the reason why, look, that's the reason why we need non-armed police response to be able to react to mental health crises, unhoused persons crises, even traffic stops.
See, yesterday in Riverside, Dominique, where the police went to this brother's house to do a code check or something, and they saw video clear as day, Dominique. It was about 5 officers, and one of the guy wasn't there. It's like he was a young brother, but he wanted spatial. And he stomped on a skateboard and broke it in half. Did you see that?
I saw that story.
What do you think about that, Dominique? That's ridiculous,
it's just bullying behavior. It's just bullying. And that's why those folks, at least they're facing some consequences. I think they're bringing a case in that particular incident, if I'm not mistaken. But, Sam, I thank you for listening for a long time because it's been quite a while since that incident happened out in Venice. And clearly it's still on your mind. Sam called 800-920-1580. You can do the same. Let's talk about it. KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
I feel so alone.
I'm embarrassed to talk about it.
How can I help my kid if I can't help myself?
I can't remember when I wasn't stressed.
I don't like it inside.
When you feel overwhelmed by your thoughts and emotions, it's okay to get help. You are not alone. CalHope is here for you with free, safe, and confidential mental health resources for youth, young adults, families, and you. Find support now at calhope.org.
After you use Bounce Dryer Sheets and realize how fresh, soft, less wrinkled, and less staticky your laundry can be, you'll put a sheet on it every time. Like those socks that smell like they've been through a marathon. Or that blanket that's got wrinkles on its wrinkles. Maybe even your chatty coworker who keeps distracting you. Okay, Bounce Dryer Sheets can't do it all. But for fresher, softer, better laundry... Put a sheet on it with Bounce.
What you want to do, huh?
KBLA Talk 1580 is thrilled to share that we have been named as a semi-finalist for the coveted American Climate Leadership Awards, honoring our climate work last year. We're also delighted to announce year 2 of our Climate Justice Crusade. This year's $2 million 12-month campaign will link and combat the relationship between climate change and poor health outcomes for African Americans and the poor. Climate inequities have taken a toll with multiple health triggers in the Black community, such as extreme heat and poor air quality, made worse by the recent wildfires. Our work to ensure climate justice and climate equity continues. In the coming weeks and months, you'll be hearing a lot more about our 2025 climate campaign. To learn more about our plans for this year and the companies and organizations supporting us, log on to our website at kbla1580.com. Caring about the climate, Caring about the community, changing the conversation. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back. Indeed. And of course, I can't remember every single thing I say on this mic. I've been talking on this mic for, I don't know, a long time. Like a long, long time. Every single day. And it's my honor and my joy to do so. But I can't remember every single thing I said. Sam, it's hard for me to believe that I would just not give condolences to the family. But it's possible. Sometimes I'd be going too fast. In that case, now that I'm looking back at it, was scary because remember somebody was shooting unhoused people, homeless people in their sleep, and they were looking for the person for a while before they found them. So it was a scary, terrible case. And I hope that I did. If I did not, then my apologies. But I'm pretty sure I did, because a lot of times people call me up and say, you never said this and this and that. And I go back and listen. And I was like, okay. Maybe I was talking about it for a while and you only caught the tail end. Who knows? In any case, I am definitely not perfect. I would say over the decades of me talking on this mic, I've made many a mistake. And, gotten a few things right, too. Shayon from Long Beach, good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm blessed. How are you doing?
Oh, not bad. I just want to talk really quick to the black MAGA Republican listeners that listen to your show about government and the difference between governments. This government was founded as a constitutional republic, not a democracy. Don't take my word for it. Read the Federalist Papers. It's about 400 or 500 pages. You can read it for yourself. Now, on to the difference between a constitutional republic and a dictatorship of communism, which is what Russia has. They don't have a constitutional republic. They have a communistic.
Yeah, but it's not there. But they're not even really communist anymore, if you're being honest. It's just an authoritarian dictatorship at this point. It started out as a communist country, but where's the ownership of the by the people of the state of the means of production and the wealth? I think it's turned into an oligarchy. Yeah.
Well, this is my point. It's a dictatorship.
Right.
It's a dictatorship, which means the people really don't get a say in the leadership. Not like a constitutional republic. That's why all of us get to go to the polls and vote for our mayor and vote for our city council and vote for our member of Congress and our member of the Senate. That's a republic. That's how a republic was founded. That's how it's ran, which is vastly different from what Vladimir Putin has. So you cannot be a patriot, a constitutional patriot, and claim that you like Putin. Those two things just don't mix. It's not the same. When I saw the United States yesterday in the United Nations vote with Russia, what does that tell you about the man in the White House and all of those people who he personally chose to put in charge of the FBI, the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and all these people? They hold the same mindset of the leader that they idolize, which is Donald John Trump, and he idolizes Vladimir Putin. Those two things are inconsistent with our form of a Republican form of government, constitutional government. That's why it says in the Pledge of Allegiance,
to the Republic for which it stands.
And
yeah.
Don't say to the dictatorship.
No, it doesn't say that. Doesn't.
That's right. So you can't be out here talking about you're a patriot and you're this and you're that and you support Trump and Putin. Sorry.
It's a really good point. And especially when you start tracking the fact that the current president likes a lot of dictators, right? Most of the people that he likes are so-called strongmen dictators on the world stage. And that, you're right. It's a fundamental contradiction. But Shayon, I feel like they don't even care about contradictions.
Well, they don't have to care. Just always remind them when they jump in your face with how patriotic they are. Just remind them that you're not. You're not. You can't be both.
I mean, it's like saying you're pro-police, but then pardoning 1,500 people that attacked police. But you're the law and order.
Exactly.
You're the law and order party, but you're letting all these criminals out, and then you're getting rid of the database, the federal database to track cops, but you're all and telling them to, go harder on black people, but you're letting out the ones that are practicing the delusion of white supremacy.
And another thing, each state, what people probably don't realize, each state in these 50 state union called United States, each state is actually its own country. That's why each state has its own constitution, its own flag, but it's under the United States, which is the federal system.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there, Shayon. I mean, unless you want to hold on and hang out with me and Louis Dix. We got news, traffic, and sports right here, and I appreciate you. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News.